Hi everyone, Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV. Well, we just got another new Newmar motorhome in, and this is one we've been waiting on because we can only get a couple of these a year, and we definitely want to get the video out right away. So this is a Newmar Canyon Star. Canyon Star was formerly a gas motorhome, but a couple of years ago they made it a front engine diesel. So we're on a Freightliner chassis with a front engine diesel. They have limited these coaches now to be primarily basically only toy haulers now. So they make kind of three different versions of this. This is the 3947 model, which is a queen size bed and back with a 10-foot garage, and we have the Happy Jack bed system back there, and we'll show you all of that as well. This motorhome really has no competitor in the marketplace. I am aware there is one other manufacturer out there that makes a Class A toy hauler, but we used to carry that, and I can certainly tell you there was absolutely no comparison between them. But certainly on a diesel platform, there is no comparison at all. So let's get started right away. Come up front, and we'll sit down in the cockpit area here and show you around. Like like many of the Newmar coaches, I should say, we do have dual pane windows throughout. I just sat down and noticed that here, so make mention of that while we can. Very comfortable cockpit area up here. It's a little bit old school. Most of the other, not most of them, the other Newmar diesels all have digital dashboards in them. And this chassis, Newmar's really just about the only people using this chassis right now, the only company using this chassis right now, and it is maybe doesn't have all the development in it that the other Freightliner chassis have. So it's a little bit old school on the dash. That doesn't bother me at all to have analog gauges, because let's face it, if they made it digital, they'd make them look like analog gauges, which kind of seems funny to me anyway. But so a little old school on the instrument cluster here. Good old Freightliner chassis with the push button transmission selector over on the left hand side. We have regular style pedals, automotive style pedals in here, not the truck style pedals that you see in some other chassis. Wiper control, mirror control, and all of that is over here to the driver's left. These are power and heated mirrors, of course. Your air brake. This coach does have air brakes and rear air ride, and the air brake selector is right here. We do, of course, have tilt wheel here too, and then two really nice size monitors for our radio and our cameras as we go through here. Of course, right here in the middle, you're going to have your HVAC controls, as well as control for your front power shade, your battery booster, generator start and stop. This is a diesel generator as well. All of that is controlled right here. And look, maybe more importantly, when you look at this chassis, look how small the hump is in here. If this was a front engine gas coach, you would have a very significant hump here that's difficult to get in and out. This is almost as flat a floor as a pusher would have in it. So we do like that. We have cup holders on both sides. We have wireless phone charger over here on the passenger side, and one on the driver's side as well. Now, this coach features a front TV. This is the Samsung television, and on either side of it, we do have some storage. Over here we have the actual Wi-Fi Ranger. That's an internet booster, so you have better connectivity. Like all of the Newmar coaches, this does have a JBL speaker system in it, and the AM/FM Wi-Fi receiver, AM/FM digital receiver is tuned for this chassis, or for this cabin area up here. They actually put little microphones in and dial in the effects and the equalizer to make it match the area, and it sounds awesome. Where most coaches, when you turn on the front dash stereo, they sound terrible. Over here we have our sticker that shows the 1-800 Newmar service number. Newmar does this for all of their coaches. And what it is that's a Newmar specialist that only deals with the Canyon Star. They don't deal with Bay Star. They don't deal with New Airs or Dutch Stars or any of that. They are a service specialist just for the Canyon Star. So each Newmar brand has their own specialist. In this case, you can see the number of Stephanie there, and you also have numbers to Freightliner up there as well. So if and when you do have any problems, you can talk to not some third-party company, but to actually talk to Newmar. They'll help you get you through the problem, and that's not just for warranty work. Even after the warranty period is over, they will take great care of you. Okay, as we come back into the living area of the coach, it's a pretty normal floor plan. You have a sofa on one side, a booth on the other. This sofa is actually the theater seating. You have incliners built into either side of this. They did not do this as a sofa bed because there's some tremendous sleeping options elsewhere in this coach, and we'll get into that. As you look on the other side, the booth dinette here, it does make into a bed, and there is storage under both sides of this booth. You have little drawers that pull out. Unlike a lot of coaches, when they do Corian in the kitchen, there's Corian elsewhere. As we go back through the bedroom and through the bathroom, you're going to see actual Corian throughout this coach. It's not just Corian on the kitchen and cheap laminate stuff on the rest of it. You'll appreciate that as you go through. We have a secondary Samsung TV here above the dinette, which is tremendous placement considering it's directly across from the theater seating. What a great idea that is. You know, there's so many coaches out there where you really have bad viewing angles. With this, they have your normal TV viewing angle is right here from the theater seating to the television. But then if you did have guests over, you have a secondary TV that you can watch up front there if people are in your way. Look at the size of these cabinets. They're so big they put dividers in them. Sorry to step in front of the camera there. So that is a tremendous amount of storage. When you make them a little taller like that, you can put the divider right down the middle and it effectively doubles the amount of storage you have. While we're pointing up, look at the ceiling that the Canyon Star has. They came out with this last year. Just a beautiful ceiling throughout the coach. It's actually one of my favorite ceilings that Newmar does. On the opposite side, let's look at our upper storage here. Of course, we have the Bose sound bar here. This is our AV cabinet. So if you want, this coach does have an in-motion satellite dish on it, and this is where your satellite receiver would go, or if you wanted to put a Blu-ray player in there. Actually, I lied. Those are audio cables. Your Blu-ray and your satellite receiver would go in this cabinet. All right, close this down. Look at the outlets as we go through this coach. I'll try to point them out where I see them, but you have one on either side of the booth, and this one back here even has the USB chargers built into it. I know Newmar well enough to know, yeah, there's one, you may not be able to see it, but take my word for it, right down here on the wall. That's accessible from the passenger seat, or even if you're sitting right here and wanted to charge your phone, they really thought out where they want to put all of the outlets in this coach. All right, let's go a little further back here. Our entry door is right here in the middle, and our controls for our coach are up above. We'll quickly go through what this is. So our energy management system up in the top left-hand corner here, that's going to keep us under a certain amp rating. So the coach detects whether or not it's plugged into a 20, a 30, or a 50 amp service, and it will systematically shut things off in order to keep you at that rated amperage so that you don't go over it and pop the circuit breaker out at the post. Right now it's even telling us it's on a 30 amp service, which is true. And so if we turned on both air conditioners, it would not fire both compressors at the same time, so to keep us under 30 amps on there. It's pretty neat setup. We have the Truma AquaGo on-demand hot water system. So great setup there. It doesn't use power all day long when you're not using hot water. It doesn't use propane all day long when you're not using hot water. It only does it on demand when you turn on a faucet. So it's actually a very efficient system, and it's unlimited hot water. So if you want to take a nice long shower, you can certainly do so. We run our slide room in and out with this control, and this is our in-motion satellite dish, basically the master on and off switch there. We do have a block heater on this coach. The block heater is not something you're going to use real frequently. It does just make your engine heat up so much quicker and start easier on a cold morning. So if you're in cold temperatures and you know you're leaving the next morning, flip that on the night before. Your engine will thank you. Our main awning control is right here for running our awning in and out and turning the light that's on the awning off and on. And then we have our salesman switch, they call it, our master battery disconnect for the house batteries, and our step switch, all in this one cabinet here. Newmar features multiplex lighting throughout the coach. Okay, multiplex lighting is just computerized lighting so that you can, all of these switches, instead of going directly to a light bulb, they go back to a central computer so that they can turn on multiple things from just one spot. So as I look here, I can turn on the ceiling, the bathroom, the bedroom, and the accent lights all from one switch. Where normally, old school motorhome, you'd have maybe your main entry light, and maybe your outside light here at the doorway. If you want to turn on the light to the bathroom or to the bedroom, you have to go back to the bathroom or bedroom. So they kind of got that figured out in a much better way. Since our ceilings get taller, things like our fantastic fans are harder to reach, especially if you're 5'2" or something. So like this fantastic fan in the kitchen, the control for that has been moved down here lower, so it's absolutely easy to get to. Our window blinds over our dual pane windows. Okay, we have kind of a dual setup here. We have our day shades so that you can kind of still see out during the day, and then at night when you want complete privacy, you have those. That's on all of the windows throughout the entire coach. Come on back into the kitchen. As we enter the kitchen, you'll notice right here, there we go, we have a pantry. Kind of a unique design, a unique shape, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shelves in this pantry. So lots of space there. Underneath the pantry, you're going to see a central vac. This is a great setup. When you sweep your dirt up, you just sweep it right to there. It kicks on, you sweep the dirt, you never even had to bend over. Can't beat that. Over our kitchen sink here, again, we have a shelf right in the middle. That's an adjustable shelf, but again, putting the shelf in there effectively doubles the amount of storage that you have. Nice stainless steel faucet with a pull-down sprayer. Double mount, or double bowl undermount sink, I should say. All right. Put these back. 30-inch convection microwave oven. This way they can give you drawers down below because the oven and the microwave are an all-in-one unit. People who take the time to read the instructions that come with a convection microwave and learn how to use it generally like it. I do get some people that don't like it, but I always ask them, did you read the book? And they're like, yeah, not so much. And so you do have to take time. You do cook a little differently with a convection oven, but if you take the time and learn how to use it, you'll actually like this. And it's a good sized microwave, even if you don't take the time and read the book. Undermount 3-burner cooktop as well. And then as I mentioned, because we don't have a separate oven down below, we actually have 3 additional drawers that you wouldn't get if you had an oven in here. And of course, all of these are full extension ball bearing drawer glides. By the way, all of the cabinetry that you see in here is all solid wood. So many coaches, they might use solid on the door frames or something, but then the stiles or certainly the slide fascia would not be solid wood. It would be a wrapped wood, something like that. We optioned in the wood package on this where this is all solid wood throughout the coach. So not something you're going to see very often in motorhomes. Most motorhomes are not all solid wood. They don't advertise that, by the way. All right, as we go through here, 4 more drawers. Okay, little flip down here, and then storage underneath here. There's our trash can. Taking a little tumble. And you can get to that over here too. All right, so that gets us through to the refrigerator. Residential refrigerator. Oh, it's on. It's pushing out the cold air. We can feel that. Much bigger than your typical RV refrigerators. So this is over 10 I think it's 11 cubic foot refrigerator if memory serves. Like my travel trailer has a 6 cubic foot refrigerator, so it's almost twice as big. You can tell when you open it. Nice size. All right. Bathroom in here is right in the middle of the coach. All right. How big's the shower? Well, this is your corner shower, your neo angle, plenty of height for tall people in here, and adequate room. Is this a huge shower? Absolutely not. Is it a tiny shower? Certainly not. It's adequate. You see a lot tighter RV showers out there. You can comfortably stand in here, and you still have room in the bathroom to get dressed. They did put in the seat. It's a nice handheld shower head as well. So this works. They crammed a lot in a 39-foot motorhome here. Above the sink, nice sized medicine cabinet. A little bit of countertop space here for all the lotions and potions. We even have an outlet here to plug in the hair dryer. And then back here you've got storage. And here you have electronics. So 12 volt circuit breaker, not circuit breaker, 12 volt fuse system here, and 120 volt circuit breaker system right here. Toilets right here at my feet, and there is adequate room around that, and even some storage here as well. All right, so I think that about covers bathroom, which brings us to our bedroom. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. Let's stop before we get there. New for 2023 for Newmar, they went to all these KIB touch panel computers that kind of give you a lot of nice features all on one screen. And of course, you can download the app to your phone. All right, as we look here, this tells us, this is our homepage. This gives us the very basics of what we would need on a day-to-day basis. So if you're only going to look at one screen, this would be it. We can tell our tank heater is on. Probably don't need that on the showroom floor, but we could tell whether or not our water pump was on. That's good information. We can tell how much is in any one of our holding tanks or our propane. We can tell where our battery voltage is at, and we can look at the main lights in the rooms. That's a lot of information all on one screen. We switch over here. This is our auto generator start. So we can set that up to come on at a certain temperature or at a certain voltage. And again, touchscreen, easy setup. Of course, our thermostat is built into here as well so that we can control our heating, our cooling. This coach does have heat pumps on the roof. There's actually 3 air conditioners on this coach as well. That's all controlled right through here. You basically turn the system on and then pick the mode that you want. See, there's heat pump mode, for instance. There's furnace mode, and that's for the living room. Air conditioner, there's also one for the bedroom air conditioner, and then the garage has its own setup. But for now, we'll just shut it off. And then if you want to get more in depth with lights, you kind of just go room by room here at the top, living room, and it breaks them all down, or kitchen, and it breaks them all down, bathroom, bedroom, whatever. But it takes you all of 10 seconds to learn how to use this system, and that's what's great about it. It's a nice big screen, easy to use. That's what we're looking for in RVs. You come back to the master bedroom here. We have a walk-around queen bed. I love that there's outlets and nightstands on both sides of this, and there's actually room to walk around. And I'm going to shut this door for a minute. A lot of people who haven't done this as long may not remember this motorhome started back in the day. Baystar made what they called a 2901, which was basically their best-selling double slide 29-foot motorhome. Well, someone at Newmar got the great idea, hey, how about we make it a Canyon Star, take it up a little bit in trim level, put it on a bigger, beefier chassis. Instead of a 29-foot motorhome with 2 slides on it, we're going to make it a 39-foot double slide motorhome, and the last 10 feet is going to be a garage. Well, that's where this whole idea came from for the toy hauler, and it's been tweaked a few times over the years, a few different versions of this, but ultimately you still see that from this point forwards, this is a 29-foot double slide motorhome that doesn't look at all like a toy hauler. You'd never know you were in a toy hauler motorhome, just driving a 29-foot motorhome down the road. Come over here, we have some storage. Now they kind of have this configured. You can do it a couple different ways. You can take these shelves out, or maybe leave just one shelf in and have hanging space across, or shelves for folded up stuff, however you want to do it. We have 5 drawers in here, 2 like this. And these do pull all the way out. And then the bigger ones are down at the bottom, 3 like this. And then 1 drop down here. Again, that's our AV cabinet. That's where your satellite receiver and or DVD player would go. And then another Samsung TV back here. So we're up to 3 TVs now. We're not done. Underneath the bed, there is storage. Actually, a fair amount of storage. In fact, will this cushion fit in here? This cushion is actually used when you make the booth into a bunk. That's what that cushion's for. Make the booth into a bed. Okay, see, that's a better storage spot for that. We do have a little bit of storage up above the bed there, and 2 little cabinets down below. We're not going to get too much into that. There's a lot to talk about. All right, so we've talked about the front half of this motorhome. Let's go where the exciting part is. All right. It's like an extra bedroom in a motorhome. 2 steps down, and we enter the garage area. Now, there's lots of configurations for this. I'm going to try to give you an overview of all of them. Right now, we're kind of set up in what I would call bunk mode. So if I just take this and I roll it forward, put that leg down, there's one. Do the same here. Put the leg down, get out of the way. There we go. We have 2 queen-size beds. So if you're looking, maybe you're not looking for a toy hauler. Maybe you're looking for a motorhome that sleeps other adults or adult-sized children. You know, I have a 14 and 17-year-old at home. They would much prefer this than the tiny bunks, I promise you that. Or maybe you want to go camping with another family, 2 adults and 2 kids, something like that. These are 2 queen size beds back here when it's in this configuration. And by the way, they have their own door to come and go. That's behind Troy right now. Sorry, Troy. He'll do the 180 here. They have their own air conditioner and thermostat back here, so they can, if they like it colder or warmer than you do, great. They even have their own television. We're up to 4. This one with the DVD player built in right there under it. So there's a lot to talk about in this room, even if we're not using it as a toy hauler. I have had people use these as toy haulers, obviously. A lot of times people have never considered this for a bunkhouse motorhome. So when we introduce this idea, this is a good seller for us in that regard. I've had people use them as that show dogs, and like show dogs professionally, like Westminster stuff. And we've even done little doggy bathtubs back here before for people. So a lot of different options you can do. Even people that sell merchandise on the road. Maybe you're the world's largest Tupperware dealer and want to go around to different shows around the country, and this is going to be your garage full of inventory. We've used them for stuff like that as well too. So it's by far the most versatile motorhome that we carry. And it's always been that way, even back when it was on a gas platform. But of course, people begged us, we want a diesel, we want a diesel, we want a diesel. Well, that's problematic because usually on a diesel coach, the engine's back here. Can't really have a garage and an engine back here. So Newmar came up with the idea of the front engine diesel on the toy hauler, which has just been very, very well received, and it's what everybody's looking for. By the way, this is a Cummins engine, 340 horsepower, 700 foot-pounds of torque, for those of you keeping score of the details at home. All right, I'm gonna change some things around here, but we can keep the camera rolling while we do it. In this current configuration, these beds are electric, but the thing sometimes people don't understand, this bed is not powered, this top one. The bottom one is. This one is just along for the ride. So let me show you. Got a button here on the wall. Now as I hit this, the bottom bed is going to come up and it's going to collect the top bed and take them both up. We even have our own fantastic fan and our own stereo back here as well. Speakers built into the ceiling. All right, so now we'll fold up these 2 legs right here. Okay. And we have more than 6 feet of clearance here and a 10-foot long by 8-foot wide garage. The tie-down strips are in the floor, so you can move those little eyelets wherever you want. There's 3 rows of that. So whether you're tying down a golf cart or a Harley Davidson, you can do it. Now, I know everybody wants to put a car in here. Can't put a car in here. Have I ever seen a smart car in here? Yes, I've seen a smart car in here. It's the only one. Got to be under 10 feet because this is 10 feet is pushing it on this garage. It's actually like 9 feet 11 inches or something like that. So the car has to be under 10 feet, which that's not very many cars. Everybody thinks they have a small car, but 10 feet's really small. So no, you're not supposed to put a car back here. You have a 1,500 pound capacity back in the garage. You got to remember, it's not so much about what the axles will necessarily hold. There's a balance of the coach issue to consider as well. The more weight we put back here, the more it lifts on the front end. And those front tires up there, they do all of the steering and most of the braking. So you don't want to screw up that balance too much. So Newmar says 1,500 pounds in the garage is plenty. And yeah, for most people, look, a golf cart and a Harley or something like that, you can do that back here. And certainly that's what it's made for. Now, I'm not going to roll this out because it's still nice and in the package, and we'll leave that for the eventual owner of this coach. But we do have a pre-fit bonded roll of carpet right here that fits perfectly back here. So if you want to use this more as a bedroom than a garage, you simply roll that out. It'll fit this garage area perfectly, and you've got a nice carpeted floor back here. So that's a pretty cool setup. I know one of the questions is going to be, does this ramp pop up and become a rear patio? And no, it does not. Newmar does make a patio version of this. That's a different model. But this ramp has this is not a flat ramp. We'll show you when we get outside, but there's actually a curve or a contour built into that ramp. And that is to make this transition from the ramp to the flat floor of the garage more subtle. If you have a low slung bike coming up here, you don't want it bottoming out and you going backwards down the ramp. Not a good day. So that's why there is a contour built into that ramp there, and it's supposed to be there, but that prevents it, because of that contour, that prevents it from being used as a patio to hang out on like you can on some other toy haulers. All right, so this is, now we've seen two configurations. We've seen two queen bunk beds. All right, we have seen garage, full-blown garage. Let me change some things around and we will show you another combination. Okay, so while we were off camera, I put in 4 pins, and they were pretty easy to put in, but I have to stretch to do it, and it would have been very boring, more boring than watching the bed go up and down. But I stuck these 4 pins in. There's one on each of the 4 corners of this bed. They just pop through that little hole in the track right there. Remember, I said the top bed is not powered, so it's not going to try to come down. Only gravity wants to bring it down. So those pins keep it in the up position as I bring down the lower bed. All right, so I'm going to bring this down. Okay, so that's it in the down position now. So you could leave it like this. So I guess this is a 4th configuration. If you just didn't need to bring this bed down and just wanted the bottom one down, you could certainly do that. But the other thing we can do is flip these into 2 sofas that face one another. And this is a great little lounging area back here. And I kind of screwed up a little bit, but you'll get the point. You see these 3 little round discs in the floor? There's a 3-post table that I really should have gotten off of the top of this top bunk bed before I went to do this. But there's 3 poles. You put the poles in, you put the table on, and there's a night. This kind of becomes a huge dinette back here as well. So forgive me, I don't want to run that back up and down again, but you get the point. But if you do own this, make sure you take the table off before you do that, or else you got to start over again. But you can see how this would be a very big, nice dinette or nice place to hang out. The other thing there is, and this takes a remote that I don't have on my person at this point, but there's a screen that comes down with a remote control that blocks all this off. So if you wanted to sit out here and kind of have a nice screened-in porch feel back here, you could certainly do that. You could have this screen door on the door open, or the door open and the screen door closed here, and this screen pulled down, and you've got a nice, somewhat mosquito-proof room to sit back here and enjoy a nice evening, and that could be some fun as well. All right, so I think we've covered most of the garage aspects. Let's close up the front of the motorhome and show you what this motorhome looks like with the slide rooms in. All right, so we're all closed up. This is what we have going down the road. Because this motorhome is just a double slide, not a triple or quadruple slide motorhome, there's actually a pretty good pathway through here. I'm back sitting on the queen bed now. The entire queen bed is available. I can lay down on it, kick my feet up, take a nap while I'm being driven down the road if I want to. So that's number 1. Number 2, right through here is a little snug, but you wouldn't be standing right here. You would be standing here to get into the refrigerator or freezer, and there's plenty of room. I can get to my ice cream bars. Okay, I can get in here as well without too much problem. Okay, the bathroom door, this is maybe the only even slightly tricky part, but it's really not that tight. You do have to come past it, okay, and then enter. I would do it facing the other way if I wasn't filming. But once that door is open, this door is wide open. This is wide here. I could fit 2 of me through here. So I think under normal circumstances, you would learn to come back through facing the bathroom door like this, come past it, enter in, no big deal whatsoever. So not bad. The rest of the motorhome, they angled it right through here. I don't even have to turn sideways. We're just walking through a motorhome. So really good up front. I give the front half an A. I give that like a C+ back through here as far as how much space there is with the slide room in. But this is what you have going down the road. Very usable, very acceptable. Let's take a look at some of the features on the outside of this motorhome. Okay, so the first thing that I notice on the outside of this motorhome is the paint job. Whenever you're dealing with the blacks and the reds, this is a very racy feel to this, which it should be. It's a toy hauler, for crying out loud. We want this to be a nice racy feel. So reds, blacks, and I'd call that a gray or a silver in there. Beautiful paint job. Every inch of this is paint. These are not graphics. These are full body paint. You're on aluminum wheels. Those are 22.5-inch aluminum wheels with Michelin tires wrapped around them. So very much a diesel pusher. Like I said, this is air rear suspension, sprung front suspension, full air brakes on this coach. It actually drives great. Now, I will be the first to tell you, I drive a diesel truck. I have diesel tractors at home. When I fire this up, this sounds a little bit more like my diesel tractor. I think John Deere when I first fire it up. It's a little noisy when you first fire it up, but once it gets all the oil pressure built and some temperature built in the engine, it quiets down nicely, and it's quieter than most gasoline coaches. And of course, it's always going to be quieter when it's climbing hills in a gasoline coach because the RPMs are so much lower as you're going through the mountains and that type of thing. So don't panic if you come to see one of these and you first fire it up and you think, oh my goodness, it's loud. Give it 5 minutes and you're going to see, wow, it really did quiet down nicely, and when you're driving it, you don't notice it at all. Speaking of coming in and seeing this one is available. This is for sale. And if you're at all interested in this, please don't forget to ask for me. That's why we do these videos. And secondly, if you just enjoy the content that we have and that we put out there, do us a favor, like and subscribe to our page. All right, enough with the ads. Let's move on. As we come back here, we have a huge propane bottle in here. Most people would only end up filling their propane bottle once or twice a year. This is not a propane generator. This is a diesel generator, an 8 kW diesel generator. So you're not going to use a lot of propane between the heat pumps that this coach has on it and the fact that it's a diesel generator. You'll fill that bottle maybe once every year or two. Not going to be a big expense for you. So nice little storage here, and you can see the Xantrac, that's the 2000 watt pure sine inverter that we mentioned earlier. But look at this, if you're not looking closely, you don't even see it. Something's going on here. You guessed it, TV number 5, because how do you get by with just 4? Once again, this is a Samsung. Let's pull this out. It's on a nice pull out. Get rid of the trash here. We have an AM, FM, Bluetoothable sound system here as well. But they didn't even waste a compartment with this, because when you're not using the TV, obviously it will tuck away like you saw. This tips up, then it slides in, and you got your little rubber guy right here that locks it away. Easy as can be. You can still use all the storage there. This next compartment is your fresh water tank. Contained in this area here in the basement, nice and warm in winter conditions. But what I like best about it is right down there to the right, you see the little blue piping right there. There's a brass ball valve there. You'll have to take my word for it. It may not come through on the camera very well, but that makes draining your tank super easy. So many times they put the drains on these hard to get to. That's not the case here for draining your fresh water tank. You see we do have outdoor speakers on here as well. All the better to annoy your neighbors with. As we move back another compartment, you see this is where you would actually empty your central vac. That's in this compartment back here, but the rest of it is all storage. Coming back again, and this is just true to any other Newmar diesel. This is an insulated and carpeted floor down here. We also have the tools for the central vac are in the bag right there. So lots of outside storage. Come on back. A little bit more outside storage right down here. Now I left the ramp door down because I want to show you that it is actually, even though I mentioned earlier that contour built into the ramp. So I want to show you, that's why they don't make this a platform, because even if we held it up level, which I'll sort of do, that wouldn't be a very good platform for setting lawn chairs on. So that's why they don't do this as a rear platform. Look, I'm a magician. It's levitating. You don't have to be Hercules to open and close this door. It is heavy, but it's not bad if you know how to do it. I've lifted it to there. The counterweight system in it will hold it there. Now, when I get ready to close it, I find it best to just kind of walk my hands up the door like this. And then instead of having little latches with padlocks, they have this latch here. It locks up, and you can key. There's a key up in there you can use. But if you didn't know that was a toy hauler, you wouldn't know that was a toy hauler. That's probably my favorite feature. You can be behind one of those going down the road. You don't know somebody's got their valuable toys in there. It looks like the back of pretty much any other motorhome unless you look really close. So everything's kind of hidden. You can still tow 5,000 pounds behind this coach as well. You have your 7-way plug back there, your receiver. Up top, your camera is actually built in up there. Your backup camera is built into the coach, not some bolted on aftermarket product. Of course, just like all the Newmars, this does have the diamond shield on front to protect the paint up front. We do have side cameras as well on this coach, molded into the, well, bolted onto the cap there, but very seamlessly put on there, I should say. Like any newer diesel, this does have diesel exhaust fluid. That is where you fill that. You use about 1 gallon of that per every 50 gallons of fuel. You can see our house batteries are on a nice pull-out tray here, right here on the driver's side. I mentioned that this has an 8 kW Onan diesel generator. There it is. All right, then we move back into here. We have another great storage along with your winterization hose contained in these 2 compartments, which leads us right to our wet bay and whole house water filtration system and black tank flush. It's all in one compartment here. And then our actual sewage and gray tank dump, also contained inside the coach, not dangling down below. Our fuel fills right here on the driver's side. So when you're pulling up to a fuel tank, you just kind of try to line the fuel pump up with your back wheel. That's what I would do with the mirror. I've gassed these up before, it's not too bad. You can usually see a little bit of that back tire in your mirror. So I try to make the back tire even with the pump, and I know that I'm going to be in good shape there to fuel up my coach. This is a storage spot exclusively for your sewer hose. Another big storage compartment next to that, so you can tell there's a lot of outside storage. And then let's face it, hey, this is a diesel coach, but I drive a Harley and we're going out and we're going to be away from a fuel station forever. Well, that's okay. There's a fueling station built into the coach. You fill this up with whatever fuel you want, whether it's racing fuel for high-end racing stuff or diesel fuel or gasoline for your Harley. You can gas it up back here and be good to go while you're there. So you can actually fill up your Harley from your motorhome. How sweet is that? And then this back compartment back here, primarily that's going to be where our 50 amp shore power ends up. All right, so that tells us a little about this motorhome. We're going to get some, I'm going to close all the compartments so we can get some good shots of this paint job because I think it's a gorgeous paint job. Don't forget to ask for me when you call in. Thanks for watching. My name's Chris with Mount Comfort RV.